I saw it coming, but that didn't make it any easier. The little digs, the way she brushed me off, the complete shutdown whenever I tried to get close, it all added up. Either she was cheating, thinking about cheating, or just plain done being married to me. Honestly, I'd already started making peace with losing her. She'd made the idea easier to swallow over those last few months. What I couldn't figure out was why she stuck around. Why drag it out? If you're done, just say it and go. Money wasn't an issue, mostly because we didn't have much. The house was debt-free, but only thanks to my grandma. We moved in after she passed. Even back then, I was picking up on red flags, so I talked to my parents, and they agreed to keep the house in their name for a year, just to be safe. Before that, we'd owned our own place, well, sort of. The bank still had a claim on most of it. We lived there 6 years before Lisa had one too many glasses of wine and fell asleep with a dozen candles burning. One got too close to the curtains. The smoke alarm woke her up, and she made it out, but the living room was already engulfed. I pulled up just as the fire department did, and I warned them about my gun collection and ammo stash in the house. Right on cue, a few rounds started cooking off, so they backed off and let it burn. Luckily, my buddy was the station captain. He wrote up the report to say the place was too far gone when they arrived, just enough to keep the insurance payout clean. Turns out, stupidity isn't a deal-breaker in those policies, because they cut us a check for around $30,000 after everything. More than I expected. We took it and moved into Graham's place. We still had about $20,000 left, and if we split, she'd get half, enough to set herself up in a decent apartment. Me? I'd stay right where I was. I'd made sure of a few other things too. If this was really happening, she wasn't gonna walk away with as much as she thought. Like I said, I knew it was coming. But I didn't expect how cold she'd be about it. I worked late shifts, so I got home after her. Winter meant early darkness where we lived, and that night, her car wasn't in the garage. No porch light either. I walked in calling her name. No answer. Then I found her at her vanity, doing her makeup. She was wearing a little black dress, not the old one I knew, but a new one, shorter and cut lower. She didn't even glance at me as I stood there watching. "We going somewhere?" I asked. "No, I am," she said. "I've got a date." She braced for me to blow up. I didn't. Just stared until she got twitchy. "Did you hear me? I said I have a date. I'm going out with another man." "No," I said. "What?" I said no. No means no. You wanna see someone else? Fine. Soon as you move out. I'll file the papers quick as I can, but you're not doing this while we share a roof. Pack a bag, stay somewhere else for a few days. Give me time to sort things out, then we'll talk splits. Her laugh was harsh, almost like a crow's call. "I'm not leaving. You are. I like this house, and when it's mine, I'll fix it up how I want. And if you make this messy, I'll get most of the money when we sell. Do yourself a favor, go stay with your parents till this is over." "No," I repeated. "You're the one leaving." She smirked. "Oh, I am leaving, in about 30 minutes. And if you're still here when I get back, I'm calling the cops." "Oh, I'm sure I can come up with a reason to have you kicked out," she snapped. "They'll hold you for 48 hours on a domestic abuse charge. That's plenty of time to change the locks and get a restraining order." I just smiled, and that threw her off. "Whatever you're planning, don't," she warned, her voice tight. "I mean it, James. This is settled. You'll only make it worse. Life is a—" Then she cut herself off, turning back to the mirror. "Ugh, I need to get this lipstick right. This bright red should be perfect, don't you think?" I didn't answer. Just walked out. I knew her well enough, she wouldn't have the guts to let this guy pick her up here. She'd have to meet him somewhere. I headed to the garage and grabbed my old aluminum baseball bat from Summer League. For solid swings later, her headlights and taillights were shattered. She wasn't going anywhere in that car. Back inside, I spotted her purse on the counter. I rifled through it, pulling out her phone, and noticing a fresh six-pack of condoms tucked inside. Didn't want to make a mess, so I took the phone to the garage, popped the battery out, and laid it on my workbench. One good hammer strike later, it was in 3 pieces. I reassembled the wreckage, minus the battery, and dropped it back in her purse. For a second, I thought about poking holes in the condoms, but stopped myself. She just claimed they were mine. She stormed into the kitchen just as I was pouring coffee, clutching the tallest pair of heels I'd ever seen. Her face twisted when she saw me. "Get out!" she shrieked, jabbing a finger at the door. I took a slow sip of coffee and grinned. She exhaled hard. "Fine. If that's how you want to play it, expect the cops soon. Better call your dad for bail money." Another sip. "Why would the cops come? I haven't threatened you. Haven't touched you. All I've done is refuse to let you kick me out of my own house." "That's not what I'll tell them," she hissed. "I'll say you threatened me when I asked for a divorce, that you screamed at me, that I'm scared for my life." They always believe the woman. "I'm not joking, James. You've got 30 minutes before I make the call." She stomped out, wobbling in those ridiculous heels. 5 minutes later, her screams echoed through the door before she burst back in, her face pure fury. "You bastard! What did you do to my car?" I shrugged. "Why assume it was me? Shouldn't leave it parked on the street like that." She froze for a second, then snapped, "Whatever. I'll just call him to pick me up. And I'll let you watch me kiss him goodbye. Don't be shocked if I don't look back when we drive off." This time, my grin made her hesitate. "Please, call him," I said. "I'd love to meet the guy. Maybe warn him how crazy you get. Hope he's not thinking long-term, since your proving vows don't mean much to you." Her shriek when she realized her phone was dead could have shattered glass. She stormed off, came back in sneakers, heels in hand, and marched out without another word. "Have a nice night," I called after her, still grinning. I could hear her cursing halfway down the street. The best part? Watching her knock on doors, and getting turned away every time. She must have tried half the block before realizing nobody was gonna help her. "Thanks, Mom." I'd called her the second I stepped outside, and she'd rallied the neighbors. I grew up on this street. Everybody knew me. Everybody liked me. Her. Not so much. I knew she'd find a phone eventually, so I sat back and waited. Took the cops about 20 minutes. What I didn't know. She'd doubled back, lurking in the shadows until they arrived. One of the officers was a girl I'd graduated with. I invited them in, even offered coffee. They seemed jumpy. "Let me guess," I said. "Domestic disturbance call. So, see any broken furniture? Bloody knuckles? Ripped clothes?" They shook their heads. "So what exactly makes you think there was a disturbance?" I asked. The female officer sighed. "She claims you threatened her, James. Said you told her you'd mess her up when she mentioned leaving. Look, I hate this, but the law's the law, we have to bring you in." "Wow, that's heavy," I said, rubbing my chin. "How serious is it to file a false police report?" The male cop finally spoke up. "If you've got proof she's lying, now's the time." So I showed them the video, one from my hidden camera, another from my phone. Both cops winced as they watched. "Well, this changes things," the woman said. "Filing a false report isn't your call, that's on us. But you could use this footage to get a restraining order. Hell, we just heard her say, 'You'll get yours.' That's a threat, plain and simple." You two shouldn't be anywhere near each other right now. File tomorrow, use our names as witnesses. And James? She lowered her voice. Lock this place down so she can't get back in. If she shows up, call us. And for God's sake, I remember how you get when someone crosses you. Don't. Let the courts handle it. Walk away. You hearing me? Loud and clear, Sergeant Sweet Cheeks, I said, then feigned embarrassment. Shit, sorry. Haven't called you that since high school, especially not after you started carrying a gun. But come on, that uniform ain't hiding anything. Still a world-class ass. Whoever's got your attention these days is one lucky bastard, Heather. Her face turned scarlet. She spun on her heel and marched out. Guess I've got a talent for pissing off women today. The male cop smirked. Sweet cheeks, huh? Can't argue, that's a grade A backside. But don't get ideas. She's fresh off a nasty divorce. You're not the only one with an ex itching to move on. Just, don't make us come back tonight, alright? Turns out, they didn't have to come back. While we'd been talking, my dear wife had slipped into the garage with a brilliant plan: steal my car. Problem was, she'd tossed her keys on the counter and couldn't waltz back in with cops around. Then she spotted them, my spare keys, sitting right on the workbench. The keys to the monster. That's what she'd called it the first time she saw it, a mint-condition 1989 Chevy Suburban, 4-wheel drive, 454 big block under the hood. You could have parked both our daily drivers inside it. I only used it for hauling trailers, towing buddies' boats to the lake, or plowing through snow. Thing was a tank, if you knew how to drive it. What she didn't know. I'd unhooked the garage door chain earlier, just in case she pulled something like this. The beast roared to life, the sound deafening in the enclosed space. She punched the garage door button, waited half a second, then slammed the gas, probably picturing her grand escape. Should have turned on the lights. If she had, she'd have seen the door never budged. But a 454 doesn't care about garage doors. The monster tore through the metal like tissue paper, screeching backward, right into the cop's cruiser. The impact sent the patrol car skidding 5 feet, its front end crumpled. Heather had been reaching for the door when the Suburban exploded outward. 5 seconds sooner, and she'd have been paced. Her partner wasn't so lucky. He'd just cracked the door open when the collision sent it smashing into him, launching him 10 feet down the driveway. Now, Heather's a redhead. And if you know anything about redheads, you know their tempers come factory installed. As I rushed to check on Officer Johns, she was already yanking my wife out of the monster by her hair, screaming like a banshee the whole damn time. By the time Heather had her pinned, my loving wife was barely conscious, just a groaning mess in handcuffs. Heather sprinted back to what was left of her cruiser and grabbed the radio. Officer down, officer down. Send EMS and backup to 411, Elm Drive, now. Officer Johns was out cold. The door had smashed square into his face, and his nose was clearly busted. I cradled his head in my lap, keeping his airway clear in case of spinal damage, trying to stop him from choking on his own blood. Felt like I held him there for 20 damn minutes before the first ambulance showed. 10 minutes later, the place looked like a cop convention. Every unit in the county must have rolled up. Heather rode with Johns to the hospital. Her squad car wasn't going anywhere except the scrapyard. After giving her statement, Ginger, aka my soon-to-be ex, got a free ambulance ride too. Diagnosis: bruises, airbag burns, and a solid case of whiplash. Not bad for someone who just tried to bulldoze her way through a garage door. I had to recount the whole story 4 different times before they finally believed me. Small-town perks. I knew half the cops there, including the shift commander, an old baseball coach from my junior high days. Any word on Johns, coach? Didn't matter if he was wearing a Chiefs badge, he'd always be coach to me. Nothing solid yet, he said, rubbing his forehead. But it could have been worse. They're running scans now. I nodded and turned to leave when he called after me, "Oh, and your wife's fine, if you call getting hit with every charge we can throw at her, fine. Any chance you can tack on, extreme stupidity?" "Wish we could," he chuckled. The aftermath. Ginger made bail, then immediately drained our account, $19,000 gone, leaving me with a lousy grand. She needed it to repay her parents for bail and hire some hotshot lawyer. Thanks to the restraining order, we only talked through attorneys. Our first meeting went spectacularly bad for her. I brought my parents and my lawyer since their input mattered. The house was technically theirs, after all. Her lawyer started with the demands. "My client wants the house, or at least half its value." I almost laughed. She'd already lined up some realtor friend to buy it cheap and flip it back to her. Joke was on her. My lawyer slid a document across the table. Her attorney's eyebrows shot up. Ginger shrieked, "What?" Turns out, my dad's name was the only one on the deed. Not mine. Not hers. "You can't get half of something you never owned," her lawyer muttered. She was still fuming when he dropped the next bomb. "She also wants all furnishings, living room set, dining suite, bedroom furniture, silver service, and the new kitchen appliances." My lawyer produced another stack of paperwork. Every stick of furniture was bought with checks from my father's account. We'd pick stuff out, I'd take her home, then come back with Dad in his truck. He'd write the check, I'd hand him cash. Legally, it's all the landlord's property. He paused. "Though my client did agree to let you keep one bedroom set, for nostalgia." By the end, nearly everything we'd owned was legally out of her reach. The next weekend, I fixed her car and dropped it at her parents' place, while they were out scraping together more bail money. She could have the damn thing, along with the last 10 payments. The best part? When the judge called me and my lawyer into his chambers during the divorce. He scanned the paperwork, tried to keep a straight face, and failed miserably. The judge leaned back in his chair, shaking his head with a smirk. "Real cute, son. You pulled the rug out from under her completely. Saw this coming, didn't you?" I shrugged. Didn't plan for this exact mess, but I knew it wouldn't end pretty. Just covering my ass. Technically, she owes me $9,000 from that account she drained, but if she signs the papers, I'll let it slide. He grunted. Fair enough. Back in court, he laid it out for Ginger. Everything was legal, documented, and airtight. My offer stood: keep the stolen cash if she agreed to the divorce cleanly. Fight it, and I'd claw every penny back. She looked ready to spit nails, but what choice did she have? The gavel cracked down. Just like that, I was free. Meanwhile, her problems were just starting: false police reports. Assaulting an officer with a vehicle. The department threw in every petty charge they could, pissed about Johns. In the end, she skated with a year's probation. Walmart confessional. A month later, I nearly rammed my cart into hers near the cereal aisle. She wanted to talk, so we grabbed sodas at Subway and sat at one of those wobbly plastic tables. She stared at her drink for a minute before speaking. "Why'd you have to be so cruel?" I almost laughed. "Back at you. When exactly did you quit our marriage? You could have left clean. Instead, you made those last months hell. And that stunt with the date? You knew I wouldn't take that lying down." She twisted her napkin. "I wasn't happy. Hadn't been for years. Hated losing our house, moving here, leaving our friends. I guess that's where it started." A sigh. "You were a good guy. I should have just talked to you." "That's the dumbest thing you've ever said," I replied flatly. "I didn't want to move back either. If you'd said one word, we'd have used the insurance money to buy another place. Hell, we could have moved again later. But truth? You wanted out. Why the dramatic exit?" Her voice dropped. I blamed you for everything. Wasn't even interested in that guy, just wanted to hurt you. I'm sorry. I stood up. Done. Here's some free advice, get therapy. Heard you're moving back home, so this is goodbye. Next time you fall for someone, don't pull this crap. No handshake. No hug. Just me walking away. Epilogue. For years later, I saw her at a friend's funeral. Same face, 5 extra pounds, longer hair. She smiled, I nodded. Some history doesn't need revisiting. 2 years post-divorce, I ran into Heather at the gun range. Jeans, no uniform, still a world-class ass. Small talk revealed she'd married Johns, fully recovered, thanks to my insurance payout funding their house down payment. 18 months after that, I asked how married life was treating her. She snorted. Turns out he prefers male asses. Caught him with his gym buddy. We didn't part, amicably. Sorry, I lied. She eyed me. Why? You're not. I grinned. Because now you're single. Missed my shot in high school. Maybe this is fate's do-over. And just so we're clear, I said, leaning against the shooting bench, that world-class ass isn't the only thing I'm interested in. The brain attached to it. Heard you made detective. Wanna use those skills to guess what I'm thinking right now? Heather's cheeks went pink before she laughed. If it's what I think you're thinking, I'd have to arrest you. Anal still illegal in 9 states, you know. Now it was my turn to blush, but I couldn't stop grinning. We in one of them? Luckily for you, no. She ejected her magazine, eyes twinkling. Treat me right, and I might admit I enjoy it, with the right man. Pick me up at 7. Wear a suit. And for God's sake, try not to say anything stupid. She racked the slide. Now shut up and shoot. The aftermath. I showed up at 7 sharp in my best suit. For the record, my ex-wife spent 6 years failing to cure me of saying dumb shit. Our 5-year-old daughter's taken up the cause, but I'm a hopeless case. Still, I've learned some survival skills, like never complaining when they gang up on me. Heather made me wait 9 months after that first date before she married me. Worth every second. These days, she's Captain Sweet Cheeks. I've got enough sense not to call her that in public, but in the bedroom? Different story. As for Ginger, court-ordered therapy was part of her probation. No idea if it helped, but she remarried twice. Second guy's a keeper, apparently reminds her of me when she acts up. My cousin says he drops lines like, I play the long game too, sweetheart. Seems to keep her in check. Good for her. Today, our daughter Kelly got married. Our gift? My grandma's old house. Heather never loved it, and after my parents passed, we moved into their sprawling farmhouse. Our son Daniel will get that one someday, but not too soon, if I have any say. After the honeymoon send-off, I surprised Heather with tickets for a European river cruise, our 25th anniversary present. She's dreamed about it for years, and I finally saved up enough. 2 weeks of vineyards and cobblestone streets. Got me some legendary bedroom perks, including rare access to her back door. Honey. Heather's voice drifts from the bedroom now, holding out a little blue pill and a glass of water. Looks like this vacation's about to get even better. If you enjoyed this story, smash that thumbs up button and drop a comment, it helps the algorithm god smile on my channel. New here? Hit subscribe. More tales coming soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.